it's Ian from RTO. Welcome to a rather dark and gloomy Northampton today. It's not very pleasant out there. So we've got a album ranking, and today we've got another request. Not quite sure who sent this one, but where it's come from, I wouldn't be surprised if it's Zeb. We're going to have a look at Count Raven, who are a Swedish doom metal band who were formed in 1989. And from 1990 to 1996 released 4 studio albums, broke up and then reunited in 2009. Formed by Christian Linderson, the guitarist, Dan Fontelius, bassist, Tommy Eriksson on the drums, and they were originally called Storm Warning, and they changed their name to Count Raven for the album release. So they have released 6 albums in their career. So we'll have a look at them today. So coming in at number 6, we got the 4th album from 1996, Messiah of Confusion. Dan Fondelius is on guitars and vocals, Tommy Eriksson on bass, and Krista Patterson on the drums. First track is called Prediction. Got a real classic heavy metal riff here, influenced I think by Black Sabbath. Even the vocals sound like Ozzy in places. It's not a bad track actually. Then we have Shadow Box. Great little bass line here from Tommy. I do like the drumming on here as well from Krista. It's a really good track. The Loneliest One. It's okay, it's just got that solid rock metal beat, nothing wrong with that one. Fallen Angels. There can only so much you can do with a 3-piece heavy metal band, and as much as it's good, that is no different from the other tracks. Then we have a instrumental, a little short one called Mountain Spirit. I think this is a track that should have been at the beginning of the album and then into the first track. It doesn't quite fit here in this part of the album. The Lie of Life, real power chords in this, love the bass line in that one. PSI Power, it's a bit long, 6 minutes, although the previous one was 7 minutes. This one seems to go round a little bit. Shine, really good bass on this, good guitar solo. You can tell they're influenced by Black Sabbath. Then we have The Divided World, second favourite track on here. I love the bass line and the drumming is superb. My favourite track is the last track, The Viking Sea. It's got that mythological beat about it. It's 11 minutes long, but you wouldn't believe it. It's got some intricate, it goes at different paces. It's a really outstanding track from the album. There's nothing wrong with this album. None of these albums are bad. I just think this one has got a few tracks that go on a little bit longer than they should, but it's still excellent in the same breath. So I'm going to give that an RTO ranking of 7 out of 10. Coming in at number 5, we got the debut album from 1990. We've got Christian Linderson on vocals, Don Fondelis on guitars and keyboards, Tommy Eriksson on bass, and Krista Peterson on drums. First you get a little intro called Count Raven instrumental. I like this. It's weary and eerie, and it's got a bit of a anticipation to it, which goes lovely straight into Inam Nordmina, a really good track. The drumming on here from Krista is fantastic, and it's got some great riffs. Solid track. True Revelation, a nice revelation, a nice vocal from Christian Linderson. He had a great voice on this. Great little track. My favourite on here though is a little track called In the Name of Rock and Roll. I think it's got the best vocal on here from Christian, and it's also got one of the best guitar solos on the album from Dan. Within the Garden of Mirrors, Sounds a little bit like Heaven and Hell, but it is a good track, one of my favourites on the album. Devastating Age, second favourite track on here. It's got a nice riff, the keyboard really lifts it, gives it a little bit more edge. It's a super little track. How Can It Be? Some nice riffs on this. I like that a lot. Social Welfare, got a little bit of keyboard on here. Sounds like it's a violin in places. I love the track. Excellent riffs all the way through. Very good debut album. Shame they didn't say a 4-piece band, but pretty solid album, so I'm going to give that an RTO ranking of 7.3. Okay, coming in at number 4, the 5th album from 2009. It is Mammons War. Don Fondelius on keyboards, vocals and string arrangements. Frederick Janssen's on the bass now, and Jans Bock on the drums, so there's only Dan who's an original. The Poltergeist, absolutely killer track. Yeah, Dan does sound like Ozzy in places, but it's quite good. Scream, really good track. The riffs on this are terrific. Some great drumming on here from Jans. Very good. My favourite track though is a thing called Nashira. It's got a killer guitar solo from Dan on it. That bass line from Frederick, really meaty. Super little track. The Eternity, a great vocal from Dan, very Aussie though. Sings better than Aussie, to be quite honest, but there we go. It's a solid track. The title track, Mammons War, I'm surprised there's some strings in this. Didn't expect that. It makes it really good. We've got a long track, 10 minutes, called A Lifetime. It does work. There's a little bit that reminds me of Caravan by Black Sabbath, and then it goes back into a real strong killer trick. To Kill a Child, excellent riffs, real heavy metal, nothing wrong with that one. To Love Wherever You Are, second favourite on here. Acoustic song, it's got some nice acoustic guitar on it, it's a little bit different and it works. Magic Is, more driving riffs, a thumping bass line, solid track. 7 Days, very raw riff on this one with a killer guitar solo from Dan. Increase in Deserts, some nice keyboard in this. It's a nice track to end the album with. Pretty strong album. New people in the band, near enough a new band. I think it's pretty solid, so I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.5. Okay, coming in at number 3, we got the most current album released in 2021, and it's called The Sixth Storm. So you've got Dan Fondelius in the band, Jens Block on drums, and another bass player, Samuel Cornelissen. First track, Blood Pope. Love the start of this. The keyboard is really good, and then in comes a great riff. Super opening track. It's 9 minutes long, but it's well balanced. The Curse. Dan's vocals are good. I think it's got some nice guitar work as well. Good track. The Nephilians, another 10-minute track. Goes through different phases. You've got a real heavy one. You've got a nice gentle bit. There's some great singing on here from Dan. I do like that. Heaven Storms. Some lovely keyboard work here from Dan. It really adds to this track. It's nice lyrics as well. The ending, the string arrangement works well. Gives it a little bit of depth. Another good track. My favourite track off this album is called The Giver and The Taker. It's got a fantastic guitar solo on it from Dan. The drumming on here from Jens is very good as well. Baltic Storm, another epic. The riffs are good. I love the style of this. Gives it that stormy feel to it. Excellent little track. Odin, I think this is a tad long. It's 11 minutes long. There's a bit in the middle that sort of loses itself, but they do bring it back towards the end. Goodbye. It's a nice little track to end the album with, some nice piano and strings. Pretty solid album. So it's surprising, that they've still got it regardless of different lineups. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 7.6. Okay, coming in at number 2, the third album from 1994, High on Infinity. Dan Fondelius guitars, vocals, Tommy Eriksson bass, Krista Pettersson on the drums. The first track is called Jen. Love this track. The drumming at the beginning from Krista is brilliant. It got this evil sort of riff in it. It's got a real grit to it. It's a great vocal from Dan as well. Children's Holocaust, a great track. The drums are powerful on this. I love that little hollow snare on it. It's a great vocal again. In Honour, different tempo. I do like the drumming on this. It really adds to it. It gives it that eeriness. Really good track. The Madman from Wacko, a great vocal. And there's a little bit of a speech in there. It's a gritty riff all the way through. The bass line from Tommy does really thunder all along. My favourite track on here is a thing called Masters of All Evil. I love the darkness. It's a very dark track. It's got that evil feel to it, that bass line. Excellent track. Oh to Rebecca, a real strange track. There's more speaking on this than vocal. It's a bit of an oddball. It's only 2 minutes. And then we've got High on Infinity, the title track. Great riffs. I love this. It's so raw you could cut yourself on it. Traitor sounds like a bit like Ozzy on that, but there's nothing wrong with that. Then we got this little sort of 2-minute thing called The Dance, eerie. I love the keyboard arrangement. It gives it that sort of suspense to the track. Second favourite track on here is called The Come In. Krista's drumming at the beginning is amazing, and then all comes in, bang, riff, and the bass really lifts it. Lost World, a fantastic guitar solo from Dan, more great drumming. The last track, Cosmos, there's bells on this. It gives it atmosphere. It's creepy. It's got that, what a track to end the album with. It's got that mystique about it. What makes this good, this album, I think the echo they got on the drums gives it a little bit of edginess. Super tracks on this album, so I'm going to give it an RTO ranking of 7.8. Okay, my number 1 album, this is the second album from 1992, and it's called Destruction of the Void. It's Dan, Tommy and Krista. The first track is called Until Death Do Us Part. That opening riff, oh, if you've got cobwebs in your brain, that'll blow them. It's straight out of the Book of Tony Iommi riffs, really strong and makes a statement. Hippie's Triumph, and great vocal from Dan on this. Krista's drumming is fantastic on this track. The riffs are strong, and that bass line just keeps the track with momentum all the way through. Destructions of the Void, title track. Second favourite track on here, reminds me of the song Black Sabbath in places. It's got that doomy sort of sound. I mean, they are doom metal, but it sounds so good. Let the Dead Bury the Dead. Some interesting lyrics on this, but we won't go into that. But it's a great bass line. Really gives it that evil feel to it. Northern Lights is a little instrumental. The keyboard work is brilliant on this. It gives it extra depth and flavour. Leaving the War Zone. I think this is an amazing track. The bass line just sets the mood all the way through from Tommy. And the riffs on this are quite sad and evil. That really is good. It's a solid track. Angel of Death. Great track, very doom metal at its best. It's just killer riffs, killer solo, great vocal. My favourite track on here though is The Final Journey. It's probably my favourite track by them. I think it's got a real good vibe to this. Under the headphones you hear all these whispers in the track as well. It really is eerie. No One's Hero, very melodic, some great riffs on it. I like melodic metal. Europa, a lovely instrumental bit, the guitar and the mixture of the keyboard is quite outstanding. A good way to end the album. A very good album. It's got this typical sort of heavy metal sounds on it, but there's instruments you wouldn't think they'd use. There's a little bit of diversity on this, and it really does make it a strong album. So I'm going to give that an RTO ranking of 8 out of 10. So there we go. There's Count Raven, a band that I didn't know too much about. I've heard of them and heard one or two of their bits. So yeah, gone into the library on Spotify now. So I really enjoyed listening to these. Okay, coming up next is Retro Ranking, and we're going to have a look at some swamp music from Creedence Clearwater Revival. So join me for that. Bye for now.